can see there's a little play here. So it is under power right now, so it's making the vehicle to vibrate a lot. So I'm going to adjust it. Let's go into the engine bay.
There was a little slack in the gas cable and it needed adjustment. The bolts needed to be loosened to adjust the tension in the cable. The rusty 10mm open end wrench that I found while removing the seats came in handy. I didn't like the external body light housings, so I went to buy them. The side mirror housing didn't match. One was black and the other one had a chrome finish. The vehicle was manufactured in 2004, so Type 2 parts were needed. My eyes were gratified after I replaced the chrome finish side mirror with a black one. And yes, that's the sound of door misorientation. I need to fix that. It was time to replace the side indicators and the headlight housing. During a closer inspection, I noticed that the old headlamps had previously been buffed and polished to improve their clarity and brightness. While that effort didn't help for a while, the plastic eventually faded again due to prolonged exposure to the elements. The light output had diminished significantly, making nighttime drives less safe. So I've decided it's time to swap them out entirely for a new housing that will not only restore visibility but also freshen up the overall look of the front end. The ratcheting tool was a completely new concept for me, something I hadn't used before in any of my DIY projects. As I began working with it, I was still in the process of understanding how it functioned, figuring out the direction settings, how much pressure to apply, and getting comfortable with its motion. The headlight and side indicator housings had been previously secured using additional screws, likely a workaround of some misalignments in the mounting points. Removing the headlight housing turned out to be trickier than I expected. It wasn't just a matter of unscrewing and pulling it out. It felt like it was holding on tightly in certain spots. As I gently wiggled it back and forth, I began to get a sense of exactly where it was getting stuck. Once I had loosened the housing enough, I moved on to carefully removing the electrical connections that were still holding it in place. I took my time with this step, making sure not to tug or force anything, since the wires and connectors can be quite delicate. After successfully removing the headlight housing on one side, I moved on to the other side and followed the same careful process. With both the indicator and headlight housing successfully removed, I felt like I had crossed a major milestone in the project. This step marked the halfway point in my headlight replacement task, and more broadly, a meaningful checkpoint in the overall campervan restoration journey. It was satisfying to see the front end cleared out and ready for the new components. After completing the headlight and indicator housing replacement, it was time to put my work to the test. I decided to take the camper van out for a short test drive to make sure everything was functioning properly. The cellar area turned out to be the perfect spot for this. Its enclosed, dimly lit environment created ideal conditions to check the alignment and brightness of the new lights. With the main headlight replacement done, I turned my attention to a few smaller tasks that still needed sorting out. One of them involved removing a slipped bolt from the old reflective lights. It might have been a minor issue, but these little jobs add up and can make a big difference in the overall finish and functionality of the van. Once I managed to remove the slipped bolt, the rest of the task went smoothly. Replacing the reflective lights after that was a piece of cake. Next up on the list was replacing the tail lamps. The existing ones had clearly seen better days. With faded lenses and dull reflectors, they barely did their job anymore. Swapping them out was not just about improving the look of the campervan, but also a crucial safety upgrade to ensure better visibility on the road, especially during night drives or poor weather. So with tools in hand, I got started on removing the old tail lamps to make way for the new ones. Before installing the new tail lamps, I noticed the electrical contact points were in rough shape. Years of dust, moisture, and general wear had taken their toll, coating the connectors with a layer of grime that could interfere with proper current flow. It was clear that without cleaning them up, the new lights wouldn't perform reliably. So I took a bit extra time to clean the terminals thoroughly, scraping off the corrosion and wiping away the dust. Success. Cleaning the contact points did the trick. Although my pace was slower than I initially expected, I was steadily making good progress with each task I completed. I wasn't in a rush and I wasn't worried either. This project wasn't just about kicking off check boxes. It was about learning, doing things right, and enjoying the process along the way.